Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahweh Shai, Call Halayim La Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashim Kakwadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone that rule well. Peace, blessings, and salutations to the Akim that are pushing his word throughout the four corners of the earth in all truth and sincerity. Lord willing, this reaches the ears of the hopeful elect. All right, it's your brother Kazak coming at you with another lesson. All right, so the Spirit came upon me to go into this topic. You know, I saw this on the news. I want to say it was either yesterday. It was yesterday, as a matter of fact. All right, and I kind of got distracted, you know, but the Spirit just hopped on me to bring it to remembrance and to go into this specific topic. Okay, now here in San Diego, what they're trying to do is they're trying to implement mile taxes. Okay, so for each mile that you drive, you're going to be charged. They're trying to charge 4 cents. Right? That's what they're saying. Now they're saying that because there are more electrical cars, you know, about that it's taken away from gas taxes, you know, because they're using more solar energy and solar power energy vehicles to get around, and the taxes for gas is starting to get lower, or the taxes that was going towards gas is getting lower, which in response is that's why the gas is also increasing. Okay, so they're trying to compensate for the lack of taxes going towards gas, right? So this is just a more draconian measure that they're trying to force. Now, through the Spirit, we know what they're trying to do. All right, through the Spirit, I strongly believe that what they're trying to do is confine people into a general local area to keep people within certain jurisdictions or within a certain boundary of their home. Okay, ultimately leading, or that squeeze getting tighter and tighter to the point where you won't be able to leave your home. All right, now I'm gonna read this article, and then I'm gonna just bring out a couple precepts. Okay, it says mixed reactions over per mile road usage tax discussed by Sandag board. Okay, this was posted on the 30th. It's been updated as of today. Okay. All right. It says, while some San Diegans are torn over a road usage charge tax proposal recently discussed by the San Diego Association of Governments Boards, others feel differently about it. Under the $163 billion proposal, drivers would be charged a few cents for every mile they drive locally as a way to fund road and transit improvements. Okay, now if you don't know, here in San Diego, the roads are terrible. Okay, even in some of the wealthiest parts of town, okay, they have all this money, and don't get me wrong, like, it's really nice, but they got all this money and none of it is going to repairing of the roads. Okay, but this is what they're saying. They're saying that it's funding towards road and transit improvements. All right, it says 4 cents per mile tax and 2.5 cent regional sales tax are proposed for 2022 and 2028. All right, now they're proposing it, for those years. Now, however, they think that this kingdom is going to continue. Okay, I don't want Ratazah, it starts to crumble even faster. Lord willing, very soon. Lord willing, in the year 2022. Shoot, Lord, it'd be even better if everything started falling apart now. But hey, no man knoweth the day nor the hour. All we got to do is remain patient. Okay. It says we really need to look at climate change, but secondly, we need the infrastructure. Said Michael Davis, who lives in Cortez. All right. It says Davis said the tax proposal is a good idea, but thinks it's just bad timing. No, it's perfect timing. All this is orchestrated, man. All this is being orchestrated by the so-called elite, man. All right. They're pushing these measures for a specific reason. And ultimately, it's the fulfillment of prophecy. All right. It says it's a great idea when we get out of the pandemic, when people start working, when people start paying the bills, charge cars, and so forth. Davis said, people with multiple kids, it's very hard. Maybe one car, maybe two cars. So they are going to be paying twice as much. Others say they haven't seen the results promised from other tax hikes like Senate Bill 1. It says if you were to see the improvements on the road and you were to see everything that is happening because of the tax increase, then it would be great, said downtown San Diego resident Mike Drew. But I don't see it that much, and we are already paying so much. Okay. Says there has been mixed reactions from politicians too. San Diego Todd Gloria said earlier this week the funds are needed for regional transportation plan that aims to tackle a number of big ticket items. The 30-year proposal would slash greenhouse gas emissions and introduce everything from new public transit hubs to freeway improvements that ease commutes, according to Sandag. Officials also say it would give a helping hand to low-income residents whose lack of transportation options limits their opportunities. Okay? Now, through these draconian measures that are being pushed, all right, with all these mandates, okay, and people are losing out on jobs. People are getting, either they're getting let off or people are just outright quitting because of these mandates, these draconian measures. All right, which is ultimately going to result in them not being able to afford gas. Why? Because the prices are so high. And two, they're going to start trying to tax people. Okay. But hold on, because it gets better. All right. It says conservatives like radio host Carl. Let me just get to the point. All right. It says the proposed mileage tax is meant to eventually replace gas taxes, which have generated as much funding with more electrical vehicles on the road. However, there are lingering questions on how the mileage would be collected and reported. All right. Now, here it is. It says, how would they track and how would you know? Drew said, I thought it was just going to be a tax to increase the price of gas. But if we are going to start taxing cars, tracking phones, I think we have already got enough of that. All right. Now, any smart person, if that was the case, if they were going to try to track our movement in our cars, okay, they would know that most people are going to have their phones on them, which are being tracked. Now, if this is the case, people are going to catch on. And what are they going to do? They're going to leave their phones behind and they're going to go about, doing whatever they got to do. Whether it be errands, visiting family, taking trips or whatever. people are going to catch on. Okay. And that's that gap that's going to be that's not going to have been filled. Right. And that gap. So how else are they going to be able to track people? Okay. It's going into that charagma, man. Okay. Because once they implement and mandate the charagma, okay, that right hook, that big jab, okay, then there's no way that you're not going to be tracked. They're going to track your every movement and your mileage, okay, your medical history, okay, the money that you have, all of that. And that's what it's alluding to. That's what it's getting to. It says a similar state pilot program signed by government Gavin Newsom in September relies on odometer measurements or GPS tracking to determine the number of miles driven. All right. That was pretty much the point. Okay. So they're trying to tax more people, but hey, it's not gonna work out the way that they think. You know, your average person isn't gonna, they don't see what this is leading up to. All right, but that's our responsibility as prophets of the Lord. Okay, to give warning and to keep your eyes open for things to come in the near future. All right, now I'm gonna start with the book of Ecclesiastes 12, and start at verse 3. It says, in the day when the keepers of the house shall tremble, and the strong men shall bow themselves, and the grinders cease, because they are few, and those that look out of the windows be darkened. All right, because the workers are it's gonna come to a naught, man. It's gonna come to nothing. Nobody's gonna be in their shops. All right, these restaurants, these grocery stores. Okay, because when they confine you to the point where you can't even go out to these places, everything is gonna come to a stop. All right, and this is what this is leading up to. It says, and the doors shall be shut in the streets, and when the sounding of the grinding is low, he shall rise up at the voice of the bird. All right, and the daughters of music shall be brought low. Okay, now it's just going to be quiet, man. You know, where I live, it's a lot of car movement, car activity. You know, people bumping their music is loud. You know, but hey, man, you're going to be waking up to birds chirping and it being completely quiet outside. It says, also, when they shall be afraid of that which is high, the fear shall be in the way, and the almond tree shall flourish, and the grasshopper shall be a burden, and desire shall fail, because man go up to his long home. Now, if you go into that word long home, it's referring to, you pretty much never, let me just get it, never leaving your home, all right, being stuck in the house. All right, to his long, right, it says long duration, antiquity, futurity, forever, everlasting, evermore, perpetual, old age. All right. So the point is, something that is continual, man, and it has with long duration. That's people being stuck in their house. It says, and mourners go about the streets. Okay. So those who are mourning and going about searching for food. Okay. People who are lamenting, because their children aren't eating and they're weak. All right, people are getting sick. They're going to be out there roaming the streets. Okay, because transportation is going to come to a complete stop. So this is what it's going to. This is what they're trying to prevent. All right. Start at verse 2 Esdras 15 and 16. It says, for there shall be sedition among men, invading one another. They shall not regard their kings nor princes, and the course of their action shall stand in their power. Right, it's going to be a sedition among men. People are going to be fighting against each other. Okay, people trying to go into other people's homes and take their goods. All right, because the storehouses and the stores are going to be completely empty. What for those individuals that are going about in the streets looking and scavenging for food. All right. Going to their friend's house, and even fighting them like they're their own enemies because of the lack of food and the lack of being able to get around. All right. So people are going to be, that's why it says in the scriptures, to be as pilgrims on the earth, man. We're going to be as pilgrims on the earth. It says, verse 17, it says, a man shall desire to go into a city and shall not be able. For because of their pride, the city shall be troubled, the houses shall be destroyed, and men shall be afraid. All right. So this is they're whether they know it or not, they are fulfilling prophecy. Okay. Now, ultimately, it's being orchestrated and done by the Heavenly Father, Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai. Okay. Hey, but through these scriptures bring us comfort. We know ahead of time. The Wadi Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai for giving us the eyesight to be able to discern and see these things. All right. Now, this is what they're ultimately trying to get to. This is the next chapter. And I'm going to close out with this. This is 2nd Ezra 16. And verse 70, it says, "For there shall be in every place and in the next cities a great insurrection upon those that fear the Lord." All right. Because what they're going to try to do is confine everybody to their homes to the point where they, you can't leave. But they're going to know based off of those who got the charagma of your whereabouts. Okay? Either that or through your phone or whatever the case may be. Any GPS tracking system that you have in your car. All right? They're going to be tracking all of that. It says, "They shall be like madmen, sparing none, but still spoiling and destroying those that fear the Lord. For they shall waste and take away their goods and cast them out of their houses. Then shall they be known who are my chosen, and they shall be tried as gold in the fire." All right. So that's ultimately what this is leading up to. All right. They're trying to tax everybody. It's here in San Diego. More than likely, it's going to spread throughout California and possibly throughout the region and the nation. Okay. Trying to tax people. All right. But this is the time that we're leading up to. But they won't be able to track it unless there's a tracking device or a tracking system. All right. And through the Spirit, and we know that that's coming real soon. We all know what that is. All right. Lord willing, this lesson was edifying. I want to give our honor, praise, and glory unto Yahweh, Bahashem Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Rakakwadash. And with that, I want to say Shalom.